Are you just sick and tired of chasing likes and follows with all those social media tips that never really pan out? Let's just stop guessing. We're going to break down a really powerful 5-step content strategy heavily inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk that actually focuses on what moves the needle, connecting with the right people and getting real results. And this is where so many people get it completely wrong. They get stuck in this endless, exhausting game of trying to outsmart an algorithm that's just going to change next week anyway. It's a reactive strategy, and it's not a proactive one. Exactly. Let's just flip the script on this whole thing. Instead of chasing algorithms, how about we build a strategy that's centered around what actually matters, your unique strengths, and the very specific people you're trying to reach?
So, where do we even begin building this strategy stack? Well, the foundation, step one, it's all about self-awareness. Because before you can even think about a single platform or any audience, the whole strategy has to start with you.
Think about it. Are you a fantastic writer, a total natural in camera, or maybe you just have that gift of gab and you could talk for hours on a podcast? See, the most effective medium isn't some universal rule. It's the one where you can really shine, and more importantly, be consistent. And this is such a great way to look at it. Video often gets called the holy grail for a good reason. You can film one thing and then slice and dice it into audio for a podcast or text for a blog post. It's incredibly efficient. But, and this is a big but, if the camera just isn't your friend, don't force it. A really powerful podcast or a sharp, well-written article can have just as much impact, maybe even more. The key is to play to your strengths. Okay, so once you've figured out how you want to communicate, the next big question is, where should you be doing it? Now, this sounds so simple, right? But it's an absolutely critical strategic choice. Don't try to drag an audience over to a platform that you like. You need to go to the platform where the people you want to reach are already hanging out. And this lays it out perfectly. I mean, if your expertise is in something super specific, like intellectual property law for B2B clients, LinkedIn is your playground. But if you're a parenting expert like Dr. Becky, those niche communities on Facebook are an absolute goldmine. The platform has to fit the audience. It's that simple. And this, in very direct terms, really gets to the heart of it. The whole point is about impact, not just how many eyeballs you get. On a platform like LinkedIn, getting your detailed expert post in front of just one high-value person, that can lead to a game-changing business deal. It's about choosing the right fishing spot for the exact fish you want to catch. All right, so you've picked your medium, you've picked your platform. Now for step 3, and honestly, this might be the most powerful part of the entire strategy. This is where we stop just shouting into the void and we start whispering to exactly the right people. So, what in the world are consumer cohorts? Well, forget broad terms like millennials or small business owners. A cohort is like a microtribe that you define with incredible, almost obsessive detail. It's the secret to creating content that feels like you're speaking directly to one person. The difference here is massive. Parents is this vague, enormous group. So any content you make for them is going to be generic by default. But content for a very specific type of parent, that's what resonates deeply because it speaks to their unique anxieties, their specific goals, and their situation. Just look at the level of detail here. This isn't a demographic. It's a whole story. You can feel the tension, the psychology behind it. When you create content for this person, every single word, every headline is packed with an understanding that a broad approach could never, ever achieve. So, this brings us to a really crucial mindset shift, how we actually measure success. It's time to seriously rethink what a win actually looks like. This is the question you have to ask yourself honestly. Are you just chasing likes, views, and follower counts? Those are vanity metrics. Or are you playing for actual business outcomes, like leads, sales, and high-value connections? Now, at first glance, this number, it looks kind of bad, right? Only 83 people are watching a stream, and they've got it on mute. This looks like a total failure. But it all depends on the game you're playing. And there it is. That's the mindset shift. Your goal defines the metric. If you're just experimenting, learning the features of a new platform, or testing a format, then 83 viewers isn't a failure, it's data. It's a valuable learning experience because popularity was never the goal in the first place. So the big takeaway here is this. Stop trying to win with losing players. Those are the people who will never, ever be your customer. Instead, Focus all your energy on winning with the winning players, that 1% that can actually change your business. One of them is worth more than 100 million views from the wrong people. So you've got your medium, your platform, your cohort, and your real goal. Step 5 ties it all together. You have to be willing to just take more swings, more at-bats. And here's the entire stack, all in one place. It's a continuous loop. 1. Know your strengths, pick your medium. 2. Find the platform where your audience actually lives. 3. Define a hyper-specific cohort to talk to. 4. Set a real, tangible business goal. And 5. Get in the game and take more swings. Consistency and experimentation. That's what makes this whole system work. And this is the real obstacle, isn't it? It's not the algorithm, it's not a lack of knowledge, it's the fear. The fear of posting something that doesn't get a ton of likes, the fear of being judged, the fear of not looking popular. So let's just end with this challenge. The strategy is clear. The only thing left in the equation is your willingness to try, to experiment, and to maybe fail in public on the path to finding what really works. So what's one thing you can test tomorrow?